Our next guest now says he wants the House to advance a budget blueprint as soon as June. Joining us now, Congressman Jodey Arrington of Texas. He's also chairman of the House Budget Committee, friend of the show. It's good to see you, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning, Joe.
What happened yesterday with that reconciliation? You want a third reconciliation?
Well, we got to get to the 2.0 first, but we're prepared for a third one.
Which would be for what?
Would we support our troops? We know the Democrats aren't going to help us. I mean, they were prepared to shut the Homeland Security down through the rest of the fiscal year and not pay our Coast Guardsmen or ICE and Border Patrol agents, et cetera. So I'm anticipating that we're not going to get a lot of help, and we need to support our troops.
You mean the War Powers Act?
I mean, give them the resources they need to finish the fight and come home safely and successfully. A, maybe some down payment on modernization and future readiness. B, and then we need to declare war on fraud in this country and the people's government, because hundreds of billions of dollars are leaking like a sieve out of the many, many programs. We buttoned up Medicaid pretty tight. We did the same thing with SNAP, but there are about 75 other means-tested welfare programs in this government, like the Earned Income Tax Credit, which is a cash welfare program. It loses 30 cents on the dollar. So there's a lot of savings we can put against the offset for spending on defense. And then I think there's still some affordability.
What do you mean the Earned Income Tax Credit loses 30 cents on the dollar?
So the Earned Income Tax Credit, among other programs like the Low-Income Housing Tax Credit, is a refundable, which means it's a cash benefit. If you don't have a tax liability, you get cash.
Course, right.
30 cents on the dollar that are being doled out are erroneous payments. They're mostly overpayments, so you're either making wrong overpayments to the right people or you're making payments to the wrong people. And that's not just in this isolated case, it's widespread.
You think that's fraud and not poor data entry on some of those cases?
Listen,
how do you fix it?
We only, with just 15 agencies and departments, not all departments and agencies, including TANF, which is another big welfare program. In 64 programs only, we have $186 billion in improper payments. That's not the hundreds of billions in fraud that the Government Accountability Office is saying that we have. So those are two separate things. One's waste, one's fraud. And then you have the abuse of illegal immigrants also drawing down taxpayer services from these safety net programs. All I'm saying is there's hundreds of billions of dollars still on the table in terms of fraud, waste, and abuse.
Did you see our last interview just now?
No, I'd love to hear about it.
It was just the almost night and day, the yin and yang of what goes on down here in Washington about.
On the fraud front?
No,
yeah, just cuts to SNAP, cuts to welfare.
Oh, yeah,
sure.
Cuts to Medicaid, cuts to Medicare.
This was, with Clark who was here.
I mean, I hear the fear mongering. This is why no one does anything about it up here, because they'll have this false narrative that we're throwing poor people into the streets or taking food from the mouths of hungry children, and it scares everybody. And so they don't do the right thing to protect tax dollars, the sacred treasure of our citizens that are paying for the light bills in here. And by the way, they're generous people who are paying for the safety nets for people who need them. And they don't begrudge doing it. What they begrudge and what they resent is that we don't have the discipline nor the courage to go after it until recently. The big, beautiful bill, over $1 trillion in stopping ineligible, illegal.
She just mentioned the same trillion, and it sounded horrible. You're mentioning it as a feather in the cap. It's amazing.
It's a badge of honor. It's a badge of honor. You know why, Joe? It's not just taxpayer dollars that we're protecting. We're protecting and preserving the program for the people who actually need them.
How are you going to get before the third reconciliation? What happened yesterday? When everybody comes back, how's it going to play out?
I think they're going to find some common ground with the administration. When I say this is a Republican-only exercise, reconciliation. Yeah. It's the only way to break through the obstruction right now.
They didn't have it yesterday.
No, they didn't. Look, I'm not saying it's easy. I mean, our margins are thin just to get consensus with our own party. And listen, it's a tough process. I'm not being overly critical with Thune and my colleagues over there, Lindsey Graham.
You don't need to, Congressman.
You're going to do. Okay, Emmer already. Well, listen.
He's never been more frustrated with the Senate.
Well, look, it's a frustrating process. They're going to get there. They'll find a compromise on this fund for
anti-weaponization. Anti-weapons, that's a long, that's why the Democrats say slush, and it's just easier to say it.
Well, and then the question comes back to those are taxpayer dollars, too.
Absolutely.
How do you make sure, should the taxpayers be funding for those things?
Well, the taxpayers and our citizens / taxpayers are the ones that have real, not just economic harm, but reputational harm, sometimes irreparable harm from their government. And so there ought to be consequences to those who use the levers of power to attack their citizens.
Correct, but that does not mean the taxpayers should be doling out a lot of money. It's the same thing as when a corporation takes, and no one in the corporation gets in trouble for wrongs that are there, but they end up taking shareholder dollars to pay out suits.
Well, here's the thing. I think it's just like the judgment fund that's existed since the 1950s to settle cases, right, or to pay judgments. I think as long as there's good structure, there's good structure to the process. That is, there's oversight, accountability.
Those understanding how this money is used.
Yeah, I think the scrutiny to it is fair. But I think the gist, the purpose behind it, and the spirit of it is absolutely spot on. This is something, I think this happened. I think the advent of weaponization started with all this impeachment stuff. We never had a political impeachment, a full partisan impeachment until President Trump. We never had 2 impeachments in one term until President Trump. And you can go on and on, harassing parents just simply protesting and exercising their rights in their public schools and public squares, calling people domestic terrorists who are simply protesting and voicing their view to protect the voiceless unborn people. So anyway, I think the gist behind it's right. We just need to make sure there's accountability and the right guardrails, and I think that's going to be.
Andrew's
they're going to find that.
Too.
Andrew.
Hey, Representative, my question to you is actually something I'd asked one of your colleagues just earlier, which is longer term, how concerned are you if we have a program like this that, whoever is in power is going to use it in a political way to effectively award their constituents or people who supported them for feeling that there was some weaponization. For example, I think we could agree that you could argue that the Biden administration weaponized the system in certain ways. I think you would agree. I don't know. Do you believe that this president, our current president, has weaponized the system in any way at all? Because I think if you say yes to that, then all of a sudden we're going to be in a situation where this is going to be an ongoing scenario. And I think it's hard not to say that both haven't, frankly.
Well, I think the president has certainly been one of the biggest victims of weaponization. But I would agree with you, Andrew, that both parties can be perpetrators of weaponization. And I'd also agree with you that we have to have the accountability measures and the safeguards so that it is not, quote, slush fund where you're doling out monies to political allies that don't have legitimate claims. It needs to be fair and objective, just like the fund that existed that this is sort of an offshoot of. And that's why I think that the Senate's going to find a path forward, and they're going to put those measures in place, and they're going to do that probably outside the bill. They could do it in Rec 2.0. They could do it legally, codify those safeguards, or they can just have an agreement. But your concerns are legitimate, Andrew, but I would call the president the first and biggest, I don't know about the first, but the first public and biggest victim of weaponization. And so I think this is an appropriate approach and a use of tax dollars as long as the guardrails exist, and that's what they're figuring out.
The ICE funding, here we go, another obstacle. It has nothing to do with what we keep trying to do here, right?
Well, listen, it is exactly what my Democrat colleagues are trying to do. They're trying to pander to the left in their primaries. And the best way to do that is to say we defunded ICE and CBP. They've been talking about this for forever. That's one.
What are you going to do next? So you're going to run for office again, maybe?
One day, maybe, God willing. I'd love to. But maybe I'll spend more time with you guys.
You're from Texas, right? What about Cornyn and what is Tyler?
Cornyn.
Could this backfire?
I mean, I anticipate this is how it would go down because I think I see I see a lot of the same MO and mentality with Paxton as with Trump. He's very Trumpian in that he brings a lot of energy and fight every day, and that's why.
And Texas is still red, isn't it?
Texas is red. Listen, whether Cornyn is the guy or Paxton, there's no way a radical leftist who's really good at wrapping the Constitution and Bible around his ideology will ever get elected from the freedom-loving people of Texas. And that's no disrespect to him personally, but it's not going to happen.